Hi, my name is Kristen Schmidt, and I'm here to present my AIP project, which covers increasing student comprehension levels with technology. The classroom issue I ended up going with for my project was the fact that I have 30 students of many ability levels in my third grade class, and with having so many students, it's a worry of mine that students are not getting enough differentiated instruction during reading rotation and independent work times, particularly in the Chromebook rotation. In my classroom, I have 3 rotations during my reading rotation time, which consist of small groups, word work, which is working with spelling and vocabulary words, etc., and then I have a Chromebook rotation. Work is differentiated for all 3 rotations, but Chromebooks tend to be a bit more challenging for me to plan because I want to make sure that work is differentiated properly, and so I've been searching for a program that can do that for me and be very effective when students are using it. I chose to research how to ensure students are continuing to make growth in their comprehension skills during reading rotations. When I went ahead and started that research, what I did was I ended up finding many themes, and my first theme that came up was the educational technology, of course, was something that was what I was searching out, and it came up in many articles and emphasized the numerous benefits that technology has when incorporating it into classroom instruction, such as more opportunities to differentiate, higher levels of positivity and diversity in school cultures, and then also increased collaboration among teachers and students. One article also ended up mentioning that using different types of technology in the classroom can promote student-centered learning, which sparks more collaboration and interest between students and the curriculum. Differentiation is another theme that appeared often when I was searching how to ensure that students were making the appropriate growth. And differentiation is obviously an important teaching technique because it acknowledges that all students, they learn in different ways, and it can be implemented in 4 different areas, which are content, process, product, and environment to ensure student success. Student-centered instruction was not a term that I was searching for, but ended up showing up in a lot of the articles that I was finding. And so it was noted that student-centered instruction can be enhanced through the use of technology with programs that cover things such as coding and video game creation. And so I thought, wow, that would be something that would be really important for me to think about as I am choosing a program. Collaboration was also a theme that came up often, and with collaboration, it was been known that it is a positive, helpful practice in the classroom because it allows students to learn from each other and can take place inside and outside of the classroom. It is also said that collaboration can be promoted through the use of technology such as virtual textbooks and other internet programs in the classroom, which in our situation that we are in right now, we are finding students using more and more. The implementation choices that I ended up coming up with involved all reading programs that focus on comprehension. So the first implementation choice was readworks.org, and this was a program that I have used in the past a little bit, but this is something that I thought I could maybe incorporate more intentionally. After doing some research, I found that ReadWorks allows students to practice teacher-selected differentiated passages that apply the science of how diverse learners move towards reading comprehension and the support of content, curriculum, and tools of the website. Implementation choice 2 covered the idea of EPIC. So I was thinking about using this digital library to assign students just right books that would be able to be accessed during this independent rotation time. Digital libraries and ebooks get students acquainted with using technology and digital learning using devices they are already using. So while developing necessary reading and comprehension skills. And implementation choice 3 was a differentiated platform called Freckle, and this was something that was brand new to me, and it allows teachers to access level-appropriate texts and improve reading comprehension skills for their students. This program is designed to empower teachers to reach all of their students at their level by making a differentiation a reality, and it was a really user-friendly program. I decided to go with Implementation Plan 3, which includes students using the Freckle differentiation platform to improve their comprehension scores during independent reading work time. The reason I chose this program over the others was because Freckle was a brand new program that I had not known much about at all, and I realized that it contains these differentiated passages by their reading levels. So you could choose a topic and apply this topic across the entire classroom, but it would be accessed at the student's individual level. The program also empowers teachers to reach all students at their level by making differentiation readily available to educators. It's very user-friendly, and instead of taking 1 or 2 prep periods, it is something that can be done in a decent amount of time that will allow you to focus on other things that need to be ready in the classroom as well. Freckle's reporting system also includes individual student data, which I will show you here in a moment, and it also includes class-wide options to track student progress as well. When implementing my plan in my classroom, I decided to do a class-wide practice for the first week of independent implementation to ensure that students could use the program independently the following week. My plan was implemented for 1 week, which was March 9th through the 13th. The reason it was cut short was because we had spring break, and then with the COVID-19 outbreak, things have been closed down since. I chose an article on Freckle that went along with the genre we were reading in our language arts curriculum, which was nonfiction. So we chose to read about police officers, and students were easily able to access the passage through Google Classroom. When all students were able to complete the activity, I accessed the ELA Levels report, which breaks down the student reading comprehension by skill, and the Performance by Standard report, which shows how the class is progressing in grade level ELA standards. The ELA Levels report, after 1 week of implementation, ended up showing the individual student growth and showed that 1 student progressed to the next step of level 4. So there are 3 different levels, and so instead of just being at 4A, they were now at 4B. And so that student had their activities adjusted to a higher level for the next time that they use the Freckle program for reading comprehension. The other report I looked at was the Performance by Standard report. This report showed the specific ELA standards, and most of my students ended up scoring in the middle range, which is the 50 to 79%, which obviously I would hope to improve with more weeks and months of implementation. When observing the practice passage and the first independent passage, so comparing those 2 weeks, students improved in 2 standards, which were the word meaning and choice and summarizing and main ideas. So when I'm talking about the ELA levels report, you'll see that one of my students with the blue arrow, it indicates here that he progressed from level 4A to 4B within that time when we first started practicing to the end of the first week of implementation. My performance by standard report shows here with the two blue arrows that students did improve slightly compared to the first time with summarizing and main ideas, and then word meaning and choice was all green. I do want you to notice that when we're talking about questions that are answered, you'll see that it's talking about the number of questions that are answered within the whole class. And so since they have different levels, you'll see that the numbers up to the 5th grade areas there's not as many because my 3rd graders are not all quite to that level at this point. The data gathered from the initial introduction activity to Freckle and the week program that it was implemented, it indicated that students improved in those two standards that I pointed out, and one student also improved their reading comprehension level. The standards they improved in were the word meaning and choice and the summarizing and main ideas, which supports the idea that Freckle may be an effective differentiation tool to use during independent reading time. 2 students ended up improving the class standards on the classroom standards report, so all students performed at a 79% or higher on the comprehension questions. The limited findings that I have here suggest that teachers can differentiate instruction in their classrooms with technology to model independent learning skills and strategies that effectively support students as they work independently. Just minor growth was indicated over the short time the plan was implemented, so I would say that more data is necessary to prove definitive results of the implementation of the Freckle differentiation platform for comprehension support. The strengths of my project were that it was a short amount of time. I would say that the progress that my students made over a short amount of time was definitely a strength. They align with the idea that by working with a program that allows differentiation, teachers can encourage struggling students to complete the first few tasks and encourage gifted learners to take their projects many steps further. A gifted student in my class made growth into a higher 4th grade reading level, and the Freckle program adjusted their reading level quickly, and it kept them challenged the whole time, so I would say that's another strength. A weakness is that there was not a lot of time given during the actual class time to complete the task. There was about 15 to 20 minutes to complete the task. So 6 students were not able to complete the comprehension assignment due to different issues going on, different groups they were asked to be in, and so they were not able to be factored into the class results. So without the use of scores for each student, it's really difficult to conclude that the program was beneficial for each student in my classroom. The benefits of using this AIP process in my project, it showed limited results about the Freckle program, and I would say it should be used further to find true results. This process can be used with the implementation of other programs used during independent work times, during any subject. And then this process also did a really great job of using actual data to drive best instructional practices in the classroom. With the review of data each week that I was intending to do, it's going to allow teachers to modify their plans more effectively and in a timely manner so that students are not wasting any instructional minutes using an ineffective program. And here are my references. Thank you so much for listening today.